Hello everybody. This video will show you how to install the Wavesoft program and how to utilize to design a reverse osmosis membrane plant. So this is our canvas 42991, and you can go to the module. So you can see our block 1, 2, 3. So you have already some of materials ready for you, and just click the computer aided desalination plant design. So Wave water application value engine is the industry first fully integrated modeling software program to integrate three of the leading technology, which are ultrafiltrations, reverse osmosis, and ion exchange, into one comprehensive tool using a common interface. It simplifies the design process and ultimately helps reduce the time needed to manage your water treatment system. So this is the video. You can see briefly what you can do. So ultrafiltration, RO, ion exchange, resin filtration can be designed from this software. And this is the Wave user manual. We don't have to go through all the detail. So if you want to be a more expert to handle this software, so you can read very detailed information of this user manual. But in this class, we will just learn what's the necessary to design RO membrane plant. And installation, first step, so you need to download your software. So just click there, and then you can see the installation file for Wave Desktop. For the first time, you need to log in for this customer profile, system requirement, window based, and you need to download your Wave software. And then you can just click and install your software, and mostly your Windows should have updated. But if you have a very old version, so you need to install this sub-spec. So you can start setup first rather than sub-spec, because most of computer already available this sub-spec, and then installation is complete. And to open Wave, and first you need to do very important step. So go to your Wave icon, and then right click and select properties, and this property will show you different tabs, and then click on the compatibility tab and select run this program as an administrator, and you can apply, then OK. So you are ready to start your software. So let's start from our software installation. So we downloaded this Wave program, and then you can read license agreement and you agree. Next. And you can see the installation complete, and you can just close and find out the icon. So as I mentioned, we need to change the administration role. So go to properties, and this properties you have a compatibility, and in this compatibility, so just click run this program as an administrator. This will make you save your file. Apply, and then you are ready to start. Also, in the I provided two wave example file. So in this video, we can just practice the two. One is the very simple version, and the other one is the little bit complicated version. So I will show you in this video how to design based on these conditions. And you will see this file. And then file, you can see new project, open project, save, export, import, and close project. So let's import one of our example file, download it. So this is the 32,000 milligram per liter, and then 50% of recovery rate. And very simple example, we can start from here. So do you want to import this project? Yes, we can replace. So successfully imported. So you can see the file. We select our project. Also you can open some example, also new project. Otherwise I recommend to save your project just in case. And first one is the configuration, flow, pressure, temperature, flux. So this is the American unit, gallon per minute, PSI, and this are temperature and GFT. And we select our own SI unit, kilometer per day, bar, degree, and LMH. Also we have more. And then user settings, what kind of information, what library, project, currency, because this may give you some economy analysis, operating cost, pumps, and enable save and apply license. So this is the user setting. You can change based on the local currency and then operating cost. And this is the feed setup and report. We can also see the different report based on our design. And then health, what's the wave, privacy statement, thumbs up, use, quick help. So this is the very complicated software. So we don't want to go for all the detail. So we will try which is the most relevant in our class and then your assignment. So this is the 4 tabs: home, and feed water, reverse osmosis, and summary report. So basically we will try to handle these 4 tabs in this software. So let's look at the okay, this is the little bit of problem now. So this is the home. You can see first step is what's your name of the project. Welcome. So this is the first step. We can go to specify the feed flow rate or product flow rate. So we have feed flow rate 200 cubic meter per day. So just want to make a very small size of your RO plant. And then product water, we try to recover 50% of our product water using reverse osmosis. So if you look at the technologies, so this is the second step to select different technology by dragging and then dropping the corresponding process icon between the two blue arrows. So this is the ultrafiltration. I want to utilize the ultrafiltration prior to RO, and then after RO I want to use ion exchange resin to remove most of salt, mostly sodium and chloride, and also we can try to design different pretreatment. So in your assignment you can have two major pretreatment process. One is the ultrafiltration, the other one is the sand filtration or dual media filter. So you can select which is your preference. So already we studied the basic sand filtration design from the block 2. So you can design based on that. Also ultrafiltration, membrane bioreactor, or some simple membrane ultrafiltration process can be used for the pretreatment. In this case, you can use the ultrafiltration. And this ion exchange membrane, so RO still has around 300 milligram per liter or less than 100 milligram per liter. However, when you utilize your RO permeate for the cooling tower or very ultra pure water, so you need to go through ion exchange resin to remove most of salt, sodium and chloride. So in this case we can include ion exchange technology also based on your split and mix point. So you can select 50% water can go to the ion exchange resin, 50% just to use a different purpose. So based on your application, also you can split your permeate. So if you don't need, just put into your trash can. So in this class we don't want to go for all the detail, just to focus on reverse osmosis, which is the main item of this block 3. Next step is what's the water type. So we have different water type: reverse osmosis, softened water, well water, surface water, seawater, wastewater. So we design seawater and then just click this one. And next step is feed water. So before you go, always make sure you save your project from time to time. And next step is your feed water. So if you have detailed information about ammonia, potassium, sodium, calcium, barium, cations, and then chloride, nitrate, sulfate, carbonate, bicarbonate, anion, neutrals, and silica oxide, boron, and carbon dioxide. If you have a detailed information, you can add your all the detail, and then you can try to adjust your total, because whatever you measure, you cannot measure all the charge balanced. So to make sure charge balance, so we can put the adjustment, cations, anions, all ions, or adjust total CO2 bicarbonate concentration. So in this case, you will get all the detailed water characteristics. However, you don't have an individual ion concentration, so you want to just have a very low concentration. So in this case, we just put the 32,000 milligram per liter, which is seawater concentration in terms of TDS, and then this automatically shows the 12,000 milligram per liter, and it should be chloride. There is something wrong, so it should be chloride concentration, 19,000 milligram per liter of chloride concentration. So it should be this one, not the sulfate. So you can change the concentration, and then if you know what's the concentration, also you can change based on your individual ions. And just want to make a simplify for your example. And streams, sometimes your seawater and then some other water resource like recirculate from the second pass retentate. So you may have a stream 1 and 2, 3. So you can add different streams. And you can also have a seawater, and then you can see the water subtype, which is a pretreatment. So Dow ultrafiltration will produce the less than SDI 2.5 SDI, and with membrane pretreatment such as microfiltration and less than 3 SDI, with the conventional pretreatment and SDI is less than 5. So dual media filter or sand filter, so provide SDI 5. So you can have different feed parameters. And solid content, turbidity, okay, this arrow influent should be less than 1, so we can put 0.5 NTU turbidity, and suspend solid is a very low concentration, and SDI is we want to design, this is what we use the conventional, so less than 5, so we can just put 3 depending on our experiment. Already we discussed how to obtain the SDI value in block 1. Also organic concentration in seawater, we have less than 1 milligram per liter. Also temperature, minimum winter time 10 degree, and then design parameter, we can say that the average and summertime we have a 35-40 degree, and pH. So depending on your pH condition, initial pH 6, but after your adjustment of the pH, you can also try to change your pH value. So we want to decrease your pH 6. And this is the water information you can incorporate. After you finish your water characteristics, and we can go next step. Next step is reverse osmosis design. Already we discussed about what's the reverse osmosis. So let's look at one by one. So what's the pass 1 or pass 2. So when you add pass, so you can see the schematic. So this is the pass 1, only one pass, first stage. And then if you want to add one more pass, so this permeate goes to the next step, which will increase your water quality. But in this example, we just want to as simple as possible. And you can also change your stage. So when you have a second stage, third stage, so your retentate goes to the next step. So we produced concentrate. So based on our class, we mentioned about when you increase stage, you can increase the water recovery. But here we just as simple as possible. So first stage can be used, and flow factor is maximum 1. So 0 to 1 flow factor we have when you have a new membrane. So this is the very well performing. So we can put the flow factor 1 because the membrane is the new. So you will have exactly designed your water flux. However, after 1 year, 2 years, as time goes by, membrane will be fouled or some damaged, and then performance will be lower. So we can design based on the average. Let's say 85% performance of our flow factor. So you can think about what's the membrane performance depending on your membrane performance. So when you have design, so normally our membrane lifetime is 5 years, and this can be also averaged 85%. And temperature we design for 20 degree, and water flux back pressure. So when you put the back pressure, let's see this schematic how they change. So we have a back pressure here. Try to balance your water flow and concentrate flow. Sometimes we utilize the permeate back pressure, but this is the energy intensive, so I don't recommend to utilize this one. And let's change the flows. So feed flows, recovery, permeate flow, flux, concentrate, recycle, bypass flow. So we can try to change your flow. If you click this flow, you will see the different tabs. So this tab shows your feed flow, and then what's the system recovery. So we set up this system recovery 15%, and then this flow rate is 30 cubic meter per day from 200 cubic meter per day. Average flux 5 RMA, and concentrate flow rate 170 cubic meter per day. So if you change this, so we change the system recovery 50%. So it's 200 to 100, and then flux increased, and then concentrate flow rate decreased. Also you can change how much you can recycle from concentrate, and then bypass for the pass size optimization can be utilized. But in this simple example, I don't want to show you this one. So next example I will explain more detail. So let's change the 50% of your recovery, and then we can see stage one. So we have a 200 cubic meter per day, and then pressure vessel 1, and the element we just have pressure vessel 6, and then we select the seawater membrane. So there are many different seawater membrane. Also we discussed the internally staged design, so we can select different membrane in one pressure vessel. So this will have a more high skilled design, but we select very general SW30XHL440I. So let's see the specification. So if you click the specification, SW30XHL400I. So this membrane element has active layer 37 square meter. Pressure is 55 bar. So this is the American unit, and this is the SI unit. So we just look at the bracket for the SI unit. 37 square meter of one element's membrane surface area. Pressure is 55 bar, and flow is recommended 22.7 cubic meter per day, and then rejection is 99.82. So when you have 32,000 milligram per liter of initial concentration, so we can calculate what's the permeate. So sodium chloride, and then each element recommended 8% of recovery. So when you design 50% of recovery, so each element has almost 8% of recovery. So each element will add their recovery rate, and then we can design the total of 50% recovery and diameter. And based on this specification element type, so we can easily select our membrane, and then total membrane required element is one pressure vessel 6 elements, so we have 6, and different pre-stage delta P, and stage back pressure is 0, and based on also we can add some boost pump, boost pressure, but we don't want to put this value at the moment. And based on that also we can design. So this is the manually we can roughly 200, 100, and how many element required, and then we can put the value here. And if you see this part, you will have different option. Let's say pH. Okay, we have initial pH 8, but we need to decrease the pH to 6 because to avoid inorganic scaling in the pump and RO, also some stiff inorganic scaling parameters, also degas. So this one does not require in the seawater desalination plant. This require for groundwater. So you have a saline groundwater, and then in general groundwater contain very high concentration of dissolved CO2, and then we can try to remove this CO2 and different concentration. So in this case you can put the degassing method. So we don't need this function at the moment. Also after all the processes of the desalination plant, so you need to change your pH with different pH. You can increase the up to 7 neutral pH. So in this case, we can change the sum of the pH, and depending on your water chemistry. The first video we already discussed about the calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate, calcium sulfate. When you desalinate, you have a very high concentration of your hardness, and then your different inorganic scaling compound. In this case, we can add around sodium hexaphosphate, and this will provide your anti-scaling issues. So we can put the anti-scalant and just order this chemical, and we can have this method. Also, this is the Dechlorinator, sodium bisulfate. So first we chlorinate at the initial pretreatment, and then before RO, so reverse osmosis membrane is polymer and polyamide. So if chlorine, active chlorine goes to the RO, the RO membrane will be damaged. So it's just degraded, so that we need to remove the active chlorine to change to the chloride ion. And you can put some sodium bisulfate around 2-3 milligram per liter, and you can have a better design. So when you change your water related chemistry parameters, and you will have what's the before adjustment, after adjustment, what's the pH range, and then RO pass concentrate, how much they will have their RSI value, stiff value, and then what's the fouling potential in terms of carbonate, bicarbonate, calcium sulfate, barium sulfate, strontium sulfate. So you will see all the detail. But in this example, I just want to simplify. So looks like no scaling issue observed in this diagram. But next example, you will see the red color, which required more anti-scalant and then decrease the pH. And based on that, for pH target, we select 6. House, 6 should be 6, not 600. 6. Yep. And you can change your chemical and degassing method. Also, we have compaction, RO, TOC rejection. So if you want more detail, yeah, you can try this one and then change a little bit. And let's see based on this system configuration, just click your summary report. So you can see the seawater and then pumping, high pressurized, and then your point 246. So 246 will show you what's the concentration variation, pressure, flow rate. So it will be all calculated automatically. So let's see from this configuration. Our feed to RO system, we designed 200 cubic meter, TDS is 32,000, pressure is 0, but 2.2 we have flow rate little bit of decrease, then TDS, and then pressurized 68 bar. to achieve the 50% recovery. So this 50 bar says 68 bar is automatically calculate from the computer to achieve your total amount of recovery. So let's say 6, we achieved flow rate almost 100 cubic meter per day, 50%. Then TDS changed to the 92 milligram per liter, and pressure 0. And we have a number 4 here in the concentrate, so 100 cubic meter per day, almost double size of your TDS, 63,000 milligram per liter. And pressure, because of pressure drop, we decreased almost 1.3 bar of the pressure. So you can see all the detail, the RO system overview. You have one train, and then feed flow rate is 200 cubic meter per day, and RO recovery is 49.8%. And you can have all the given conditions. So SDI, your pre-treat water is less than 5 for conventional treatment, number of elements, active layer total, and feed flow rate, feed TDS, and then flow factors, and average water flux, and then past recovery, average net driving pressure is this much, and then specific energy. So we, based on the pumping flow rate and then applied pressure and pump efficiency, we can calculate the specific energy in terms of kilowatt hour per cubic meter, 4.79 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. So this is the without energy recovery device. So if we incorporate energy recovery device, so we can reduce the energy around 50%, 60%. So it will be reduced up to 2.3 and 4 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. So temperature 20 degree, pH final, pH is 7, and then system recovery and net RO system recovery. And depending on your first phase stage, your membrane, and then pressure buses, 6 element, what's their feed flow rate, recirculate, we didn't give any recirculate flow, and feed pressure, boost pressure, and then concentrate and permeate. You can see the different concentration information. Also, you will get all the individual concentration, feed water. So if you put the individual concentration, you will get what's the concentrate and then permeate. So total how much you will get. So this is the you can see. That's why reason if you have some targeted individual ion such as boron, and this will give you whether final concentration is less than 0.5 milligram per liter, which is the drinking water standard. So we can look at the more detail of your designed water quality issues. So if this boron concentration is too high, then we can go second pass and then reduce further. For example, if I show you, like let's say boron concentration, we just put here, let's say 10 milligram per liter, and then you can click summary report. Then let's look at the boron concentration, how this changed after. Boron was initially 10 milligram per liter, and then after RO permeate 1.12 milligram per liter, which means we need to design less than 1 milligram per liter, 0.5 milligram per liter. So you need to go through the second pass. So how to design second pass? We can add one more pass, and then you can improve your overall quality of boron. So that's the way we have to keep changing your design parameter and then concentration. Finally, you can have a better outcome of your result. The pH, how this changed after permeate and then concentrate. Also, RO design warnings, none. So we have no RO design warnings in this design. However, let's say if we change different feed flow rate, let's say now is 200, so we need only 6 elements. But if we design more than this initial flow has to change from here. So we increased 2000 cubic meter per day, and then product water 50% recovery 1000, and everything is same. So if you put this summary report, what will happen for the design warning? I believe we have only 6 elements that we increase the feed flow, which means this element cannot control this amount of water. So this will show a lot of design warning, or even they cannot calculate your design because this is out of range of your feed flow and your element number. So in this case, we cannot change much about this information. So it's completely frozen. I will close the program because we try to design out of our sense. That's why it's very difficult. So let's see again. We change our recovery 50%. Then report. Yeah, so you can see the report and the design warning is nothing, but if you design a little bit wrong way, and then you will have your permeate flow is not enough, your concentrate flow is too low. So you can see the detailed design information. Also, our flow table, stage 1, we have only one stage 1 pass, element 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you can see the different recovery rate from each element, each flow rate, and then feed pressure from each condition, feed TDS, and concentrate permeate and permeate TDS from each your element. So solubility warnings, none, because we just utilize the sodium chloride only, NaCl. So sodium chloride doesn't have much solubility issue, and then we don't have any problem for this chemical adjustment. So this is the way you can design your RO plan. So when you design, you can make a smaller size. For example, like a salinity desalination plant, we have 250,000 cubic meter per day. So we don't design 250,000 cubic meter per day in one train. So we divide, let's say 10 times. So 25,000 cubic meter per day. We design using this wave program, and then multiply by 10. So each train will have a 25,000 cubic meter per day, and then we can combine. And then we have all the detailed report. Also, you can easily export to your program. So we can just save in temporary file. Example. So you can get this report from your PDF file source. So we have temporary, and then example. So we just saved this file, and then you can have a very clear PDF file report, and you can just attach your PDF file in your appendix in your report assignment 3. So this is the really good enough information you can see. Okay, this is the very simple example. I believe you can follow this simple step and then have a good experience for design your wave program. And then let's go for a little bit complicated design. So you can download this one from the So now this is the condition of little bit higher concentration of seawater, mostly Middle East area. So they have a relatively high concentration of so we have a second example. So we follow exactly the same this 1, 2, 3 steps, but we just go for only RO, and this is seawater, and everything is similar, and we just input our concentration. Let's say ammonia is 0.06, 0.7, then potassium, sodium, magnesium. We incorporate most of known value, and the anions was carbonate, bicarbonate, and nitrate, chloride, sulfate, and this is the neutrals. Boron concentration is 5.16 milligram per liter, so we need to reduce the around 0.5 milligram per liter. So total dissolved solid 46,000 milligram per liter, and charge balance. And this is our water characteristics. Seawater, let's say we use the ultrafiltration this time. Turbidity less than should be 1. Total dissolved total suspense. So we have to be careful. Total dissolved solid is the salt concentration. Total suspense solid is more about organic or some particle, not dissolved ion. So TDS and TSS are different, and then this concentration is low, and the SDI is Dow chemical less than 2.5, so we just put 1. Organic concentration in Middle East a little bit high, so 1. And then their minimum concentration 20 degree. Design parameter, they have average 30 degree, and they have 40 maximum, and this is the 28 degree for design. That's fine. And pH, initial pH A, so we can also put some adjust pH. Also, if you don't have very exact individual ion, so whatever you put, and then you can just adjust some of the your compound. But if you don't have, yeah, you can just put your love 46 milligram per liter, 6,000 milligram per liter, and then only sodium and chloride concentration can be shown. And this is the way we just put the feed water solution. And this is the configuration of the reverse osmosis. So let's see pass 1. And this is pass 1, and then this is pass 2. So we want to design stage 1 and second pass. So this is the stage 1. Fizzy water is coming to the RO module, and then goes to the concentrate, and this permeate goes to the second pass. So this is the second pass, and then we want to make second stage of second pass to improve the recovery, and this concentrate go back to feed side because the concentration is relatively low, and then mix together with the your feed water, and then we can just filter it. So this is the our design. So let's go for design first, this one, and then this second pass. So we want to go for first step. Also you can change the second stage, third stage, fourth stage, depending on your preference, and just go for one stage here. Flow factor 0.9, temperature, and pass back pressure we don't give. Then feed flow rate, depending on your recovery, we just give 41% of recovery. So this will show your feed water 72,000 cubic meter per day. You're collecting product water almost 30,000 cubic meter per day. And then concentrate flow rate 42, and then system recovery 41. So this is the 41% for overall, because they combine with the pass 1 and pass 2. Pass 1 we design again, like a recovery 43%. Yeah, you can change. I want to go for 42%. And then we can think about what's the permeate flow, what's the flux, and then concentrate flow rate. Just want to change again, 43. And then pass 1, what's the concentrate recycle? So we don't recycle at all. And then bypass, we don't need bypass. Permeate split, yeah, we just have a 30% of permeate split. And this one, from our permeate was 32 from first part, and then we just go directly to the final permeate, 30%, and then 70% comes to pass 2. So this pass to 22,000 cubic meter per day. Then we want to recover because TDS concentration is very low because this is permeate. And then we recover 90%. Then permeate flow flux of the membrane, what you select, we can have average water flux. And this time we want to recycle your concentrate to the feed, net feed flow. 100% go back to your feed side and then bypass, and then you can have a 0 here, and we can get the overall good design configuration. And don't forget to OK to save. And this is our design parameter pass 1, 16 RMA, 43% of recovery, and then split. And then second pass, we have 90% of recovery, and then permeate flow. Also, we have different flux. So you can see when you see the first pass, we need 75,000 cubic meter per day, 43% of the recovery. So we need 285 pressure vessel element. One per vessel is 7 elements, and we select our SWHL high rejection membrane for 0, and then total membrane element, number of the total elements is almost 2,000 elements required. And then stage of delta P and the back pressure here, and we can calculate from this detail pass 1, pass 2, stage 1, stage 2. This should be stage 2. Yeah, so stage 2 has less number of, because water is lower flux, and then we have less number of pressure vessel, less number of overall total number of elements. Also, we select the BWR because this is the brackish water quality. Also, stage 2 same. So we select stage 1, stage 2. We design these parameters, and we have back pressure here 3 bar only, but we can give 0, and then it's disappear. So it's depending on your balance of flow rate in concentrate and permeate, so we can utilize our back pressure function. And you can also add chemical. Already we briefly discussed here H2SO4 degassing we don't need, and then pH, NaOH we can go 7. And based on this information, we can click the summary report. So you can see the little bit complicated diagram. Number 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, then 2A, 4A, 6A, 9. So they have also recirculated second pass, and you can get all the result exactly same as what's the flow rate, TDS, and pressure at different point 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 2A, 4A, 5C. Then you will get this result, and then you can see the other information and then what other given conditions. So you can see the number of elements, how many we have, total membrane sulfate, TDS concentration. So you will get all the result including your specific energy. So we can calculate specific energy. The simple 32,000 milligram per liter of wave design was 5.4 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. So this one has a high concentration, 45,000 milligram per liter. So because of high osmotic pressure, and second pass. So we have also less recovery. So we have a higher specific energy, almost 7. So if we utilize our the energy recovery device, so we will have almost 50% decrease of this design. And what's the flow table for the different feed and concentrate and permeate? You can see the average permeate flow, membrane flux, permeate pressure, and permeate TDS concentration. So if you see the first stage, first pass, the pressure applied 69.5 bar. And then RO solute concentration. Pass 1, we have also pass 2. So let's look at the pass 1. So different concentration of low, and then adjust pH, concentrate, permeate. And then sodium 14,000 milligram per liter, concentrate 24, and then total your 2-second pass is 100 milligram per liter. And then different concentration also you can see with each individual ions. And boron concentration, let's look at the boron. So initially it was 5.16 milligram per liter. After first pass, final concentration is 1.24 milligram per liter, which required another treatment because boron concentration has to be less than 0.5 milligram per liter. So we go for this boron concentration second pass. So second pass boron concentration, it was 1.24 after first pass. Then second pass 0.26 milligram per liter. So this meet the drinking water standard. So we can reduce this second pass method. And design warning, none. And RO flow table, different recovery from different elements. And then pass 2, also you can see all the detail for pass 2, different elements. So second stage of the pass, first stage, second stage, and then what's the recovery they have, all the different TDS concentration. And here, compared to our simple example, this complicated individual ion shows RO solubility warnings. So it shows the Steve Davis stability is more than 0. LSI is positive, which means we have some problem of inorganic scaling. Magnesium hydroxide saturation percentage more than 100% at the second pass, and anti-scalant may be required. Consult your anti-scalant manufacturer for dosing and maximum allowed system recovery. So we can just contact anti-scalant company and then put the sodium hexaphosphate, which will reduce your fouling potential. Also chemical adjustment. So you can see all the detail behave after first pass pH, and then second pass, then RSI value positive, and positive at the first feed water, RO first pass, RO second pass. So we need to careful for this one. Also stiff red color shows the inorganic scaling potential, as well as ammonium hydroxide is more than 100% saturation point. So this is the way we can change the design of wave program. So you can easily calculate your information and design, and then how much energy required. Also, this can be also calculate your capital cost and O&M cost. Capital cost, you need a membrane module, how much pressure buzzer, how much element, how much pumps. So we have three main capital cost. So pump cost, you can just contact the pump company or element, and then pressure buzzer, you can easily get the data and how many elements you need, how many pressure buzzer, how many pumps. You need to design the size of the RO plant, so you can easily calculate how much capex cost required. And the OPEX cost is energy. So already this report shows how much energy we spend. So specific energy 6.98, and then we incorporate with the energy recovery device. So 1 cubic meter around 2.5 kilowatt hour per cubic meter. So 1 kilowatt hour is $0.3 per 1 cubic meter of 1 kilowatt hour energy cost. So we can easily calculate how much water capacity, how much energy consumption, how much cost for the operating cost. Also chemical, we can think about the pH, hydrogen sulfide, anti-scalant, also dechlorination. So chemical, how much you need. So you can easily calculate this information. So operating cost can be calculated from this information. So this is all about the WAVE program. So you can now easily try and then have a fun to change your system configuration, water quality, and then recovery, and then what's your water quality issue you have in your seawater desalination plant. So it can be incorporated in your assignment 3. So if you have any questions, so please email. Also, we can organize the meeting next week and then following week, and have a constructive your feedback and then discussion, so we can finalize your design of the RO membrane plant using WAVE software. Thank you for your attention. I wish you all the best for your design.